Jungle.
Jackie Robinson hit that ball. It went zooming across the left field wall.
On April 15, 1947, Jackie Robinson made history. He stepped onto Ebbets Field as the first African-American player in Major League Baseball, breaking a color barrier that had stood for over 50 years. But Robinson's journey was far from easy. He faced racial slurs, death threats, and hostility from fans, opposing players, and even some of his own teammates. He was told to keep his head down, to not retaliate, to endure. And endure he did, proving himself not only as a skilled athlete, but as a symbol of resilience and progress in America's long struggle with racial inequality.
Yes, and that ain't all. He's so home.
Yes, Jack is real gone.
Robinson's impact extended beyond baseball. His presence in the major leagues challenged deeply ingrained racial biases, forcing Americans to reconsider their judgments about black athletes and more broadly black citizens. His success laid the groundwork for integration in other areas of society, from sports to the military to education. But while Robinson broke those barriers, racial injustice did not disappear.
Congress passes the most sweeping civil rights bill ever to be written into the law, and thus reaffirms the conception of equality for all men that began with Lincoln and the Civil War 100 years ago. The Negro won his freedom then. He wins his dignity now. 5 hours after the House passes the measure, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is signed at the White House by President Johnson. Before an audience of legislators and civil rights leaders who had labored long and hard for passage of the bill, President Johnson calls for all Americans to back what he calls a turning point in history. There's warm applause from members of both parties as the president sets to work. It is work. He uses nearly 100 pens to affix his signature and date. Souvenirs go to Republican leader Everett Dirksen and Democratic whip Hubert Humphrey. The president seems to have mastered the art of just touching each pen to the paper.
The integration of Major League Baseball was one of many battles in the larger fight for civil rights. During this time, Jim Crow laws enforced segregation, limiting opportunities for Black Americans in education, housing, and employment. Black athletes, despite proving their talent and dedication, were often excluded from endorsement deals, paid less than their white counterparts, and denied equal access to team facilities. Even as Robinson succeeded on the field, he had to navigate a world where racism was institutionalized and systemic.
I don't think you realize down here in Birmingham what you mean to us up there in New York. And I don't think that white Americans understand what Birmingham means to all of us throughout this country. And we think about the little kids being tossed from one side of the street to the other by the tremendous force of this hose. And we think about, this picture just sickens me, this big brave policeman down here with his knee on the throat of this lady. And the problem of it is, ladies and gentlemen, is that this same picture of the dogs and of this policeman with his knee in the throat of this lady, it's a picture that's being portrayed throughout the world. And I think the conscience of America is beginning to awaken. I think the first steps that were made here by the Birmingham businessmen with Dr. King and the other leaders down here is an indication that perhaps the conscience of Birmingham is beginning to awaken. The only thing that we are demanding is that we be allowed to move ahead just like any other American citizen.
Robinson didn't just make an impact through baseball. He became a vocal advocate for civil rights, speaking out against discrimination in sports and beyond. He wrote columns challenging injustice, worked with the NAACP, and urged other athletes to use their platforms to fight for equality. His legacy wasn't just about breaking a barrier. It was about challenging the very foundation of racial discrimination in America.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners when somebody disrespects our flag?
Fast forward nearly 70 years, and another athlete found himself at the center of America's racial conversation, Colin Kaepernick. In 2016, the San Francisco 49ers quarterback took a knee during the national anthem to protest police brutality and racial injustice. Like Robinson, Kaepernick's actions sparked a national debate. Some saw his protest as a courageous stand for civil rights, while others viewed it as unpatriotic and disrespectful. The backlash was swift. Kaepernick was effectively blackballed from the NFL, his career cut short.
Whether he's on salary, paid hourly until he bows out of it.
Thumbs down to the NFL, and I won't be watching football this year.
There's power in multiple black people showing up in one place.
To show that we care.
This is bigger than football. I feel like this is an American issue. What I want people to know about police brutality is that it's wrong. It's unfair. It has to stop.
Kaepernick's protests and the reactions to it reveal how judgments are formed in our society. Just as Robinson was judged by those who believed baseball should remain segregated, Kaepernick was judged by those who believed his protest was inappropriate or un-American. Both men forced a national reckoning about race, justice, and the role of athletes as activists. Their actions challenged people to reflect on their own biases and to consider whether their judgments were shaped by personal discomfort or by a genuine engagement with the issues at hand. So what do these two moments teach us about how we judge others? First, they show that racial progress is often met with resistance. History has a pattern of punishing those who challenge injustice, even when history later celebrates them. Second, they show that judgment is shaped by perspective. Many who opposed Robinson's integration later recognized its necessity. The same could be true for Kaepernick. Years from now, history may judge his actions differently than they were judged in the moment. Understanding history helps us understand ourselves. The way Jackie Robinson was treated in 1947 and the way Colin Kaepernick was treated in 2016 show us that the struggle for racial equality is ongoing, but they also show us that change is possible. That acts of courage, no matter how controversial in their time, have the power to reshape society's judgments and push us toward justice. The question is, when history looks back on us, how will we be judged?